Are Solana NFTs dead? Is the Solana blockchain dead as a result of this? What's happened? We've had a really interesting journey with Solana. They've Magic Eden and Solana have really been doing some incredible things in the last year. If you look at their marketplaces now, the way that it allows for multiple different chains, which wasn't possible, and they were first to do that before OpenSea. The way that they have their launchpad, which has been incredibly successful for projects, and they were the first to do that before OpenSea, and just the analytics that they've got on Magic Eden, which have been there from the beginning and are completely normal. The customer support on Magic Eden, they've got a live chat. I'm still waiting for OpenSea to come back to me from 3 weeks ago for something that's quite urgent, and I haven't heard from them. When I needed something on Magic Eden, there was a guy right there talking me through it. Absolutely incredible. We know the Solana phone.
Nice.
Yeah, that is nice. The Solana phone itself is just great to see people, the first, Web3 phone. They've got Solana brick and mortar stores, physical stores that you can visit in shopping centers. So I've been so proud and happy with Solana. They've made a couple since that. I don't buy much on Solana, but I've still been watching them and saying, doing some amazing things. Then we saw them really put their foot in it with the royalties a couple of weeks ago, the way they were handling royalties, and we saw a bit of a dip. And then we've seen them sort of, doing okay. We had the whole DeGods thing with Frank saying that he's moving to Ethereum, and so the last week or two before the FTX thing, or maybe the last month, has been really tough for Magic Eden after maybe a good 10 or 11 months of really positive news and positive things coming out. So now we have this Alameda thing coming, and it is scary because, as we've said, they do hold Alameda, which is owned by FTX, and both now being put into liquidation or declared bankrupt, do hold at least 10% of the supply. I think what's good, Andreas, and tell me what you think. Well, I think what's good at this point is that the fact that Sam Bankman-Fried has resigned from all these companies means he can't touch whatever is there now. So if there's still $1 billion in Sol, that's not going onto the market for at least a couple of years while the lawyers investigate what's going on here and what's happened. So that takes away that risk of, is Sam gonna dump? He can't dump those records at this point.
Here's a side question for you. What if, because Frank proposed it, I know he was kind of joking, kind of open about it. They're thinking about moving DeGods to Ethereum. Did you see that?
I saw that.
That would even hurt Solana even more, because I feel like DeGods and the Utes, that's like Solana's project. It's like its baby. It's its golden child, I guess I would put it as.
Yeah. But he did, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this week he did come out and say that he's not going to be doing that.
He did, but he also said, but the discussion's still open. So it was like one of those, it was like he just kind of threw it out there. He was like, hey, I wonder what people are going to say to this. And then he got an incredible amount of feedback, not the greatest type of feedback. And then he was like, oh, I apologize. I don't realize sometimes how far my words go.
The power of my words. Yes,
exactly. But I think he closed off that statement with, but the discussion's still open, or this isn't closed. So it made me wonder.
God, why say that? Why? Exactly. You sort it all out, and then you're like, but it's still open. I mean, that's not great.
Because it still may be a good idea, like, to be quite frank, as an NFT project, to go to Ethereum for the long run.
I don't know so much.
I mean, think about it. What if Solana does crash? Like, I think he's looking at it like, oh, what if Solana does crash? Then my project's completely done. Completely.
At that stage, there are ways to move it from one blockchain to another at that stage. The problem with him doing it at this point is you isolate your core, which is the Solana community. So if you the top Solana project and therefore your supporters, your customers are Solana maxis, and you then offend all of them, you're in trouble. Because the project didn't work because people like the picture of DeGods or the Utes or what he's done, even though a lot of it was completely out of the box and amazing, and he is good in certain ways. It was at the right place at the right time. Solana was ready for it when it came, and by luck, I mean, even the Bored Ape Yacht Club founders said on the podcast the other day that they said they were just lucky that they did what they did at the time that they did it. They said if they launched a project now that is exactly the same, it would never ever have done well. So he's losing that. As an Ethereum, I'm an Ethereum trader. That's what I am. I've once bought one Solana NFT. It was an okay bear. I got scared about a week or two ago, and I sold it and converted the Solana out, which I'm happy I did. But from an Ethereum side, if the top Sol project came onto ETH, I'm not that interested. I've already got my top ETH projects that I'm
Oh, really?
happy with.
You wouldn't be interested?
No.
Really?
We saw it with that project about 6 months ago. They'd launched their secondary collection on Ethereum. They were a Solana project.
I'm not even sure.
They were Solana project. Yeah, they were Solana project. They still are a Solana project. They launched their secondary collection on ETH, and it did quite well for a while. Sold out, did quite well, and slowly been bleeding since then. They share the same Discord, the Solana and the Ethereum one. So he's got his secondary collection on ETH.
Would you know what the art looks like or anything? I'm just not familiar.
Kate and I spoke about it on the show. It was a long time ago. But yeah, I mean, I even flipped a couple. I bought some like a few weeks after mint and sold a couple. But yeah, so that side has been done. I think that the chain doesn't really matter. It's the community and it's what you've built.
I feel like the community is crazy for DeGods and Utes. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, but I feel like it as a business. Let's just if Sol does crash like hard to the point where it doesn't exist, that means it takes down Utes and it takes down DeGods with it.
Yeah.
So then it may be. I mean, I feel like Ethereum has more of a promising future, especially right now more than ever, than Solana. Like, what's it called? There's all these other chains. Like, I know Cade, he loves Elrond, like he's all about like trying new chains and finding out new communities, this, that, and the other. But these communities will not outlast like without an actual blockchain or the cryptocurrency working. Like if Sol goes to zero tomorrow, what's a Ute going to be worth? What's a
Sol's not going to zero tomorrow. Sometimes you gotta be loyal. Sometimes like you gotta in business in general, right? In my humble opinion, I only know my own experience, but sometimes you got to be loyal to the end. So there have been times in my business career where a supplier has stepped wrong, and the whole industry has shunned that supplier, or most of the industry. And at times, I've known the owner of that company very well, and I understand his perspective, and I've stood by him. And at times it's held me in good stead because I think to move on a whim, to be known as the guy that, I think Solana's going to zero, then he moves it all to Ethereum. What happens when Ethereum projects are looking like, hell, and OpenSea's the only marketplace that's now allowing royalties in 10 years' time, and everyone's saying ETH projects, is he going to move it now to Aptos? It's not the way to do it. At some point, you've got to be committed to where you're at and say, I ride or die. I'm here. This is my lane. Yeah, serious, because that way you gain... Solana.
You're right. You're right. Yeah. They chose to be on Solana. They could have launched this immediately on ETH.
And they're doing incredibly well on Solana. I'm saying as a project, they're doing well on Solana. They've raised a fortune of capital. They're holding a good floor price considering that all NFTs are down. I mean, Bored Apes were sitting at 50 Ethereum. They were at 190, so they're down a quarter. So yes, DeGods is down a quarter of its high. Yes, all of them are down. Everything's down. It's not going to zero. Solana's not going to zero. So let's talk about why. Because it was a serious question. Is Solana going to zero? So we've got all this FUD and all this talk now, and it's I don't like the word FUD because that makes it seem like they don't have a point. They do have a point, and they right to question it.
I like that point. I feel like sometimes FUD is so it's such a loose term in the space,
Yeah.
Because
It's like if Sam said in a tweet, guys,
exactly.
stop funding me. Now then everyone's giving him shit. But we're not.
Yeah.
You're a criminal. You stole our money.
But at the
telling you
same
the
time, it's like
facts.
FUD is like it's I feel like it's misused, like the word rug. Like FUD is just like, I don't know. With FUD, it's just like sometimes if Philip just has an opinion and he puts it out there,
Yeah.
and it's just
Yeah.
a more different approach, it's just considered as FUD, and it's just like, that's not FUD. That's just my opinion, or that's just it may be a negative. Like, it's like, oh, is Solana gonna die? It's like, oh, stop fudding Solana. Like, no, it's just a question.
No. Yeah, exactly. Or you see a lot of projects before mint, you go in and like you say, like, especially me, I get a lot of whitelists. I don't know what's going on with any other projects. I just want to flip them. I don't. In the beginning, I had time to spend time in Discords, and I love communities. I just don't have time. So I go in 2 minutes before the mint, and they don't say in the announcements or mint information what the collection size is, what the mint price is. So like I say, what is the collection size? Oh, 15,000. So I say, really? Stop fanning. No. I thought maybe you mistyped. I thought maybe it's 1,500. I'm not fudding you. I'm literally asking. And to be honest, you should be listening to guys, not like me. I'm just saying guys who care enough to say, hold on, 15,000 seems a bit high. I mean, I know we can't do anything 2 minutes before, so I would never say anything. But I'm just saying, if a guy a week before that had said, guys, 15,000 is too high, stop fudding, get out and block him. No. You know that's not FUD. So I agree. So I shouldn't have used the word FUD at all.
Oh no, I wasn't saying it for you.
I know, but it's an interesting discussion. I agree 100%. Okay, so people are asking now. Obviously, FTX has gone to zero. They on early investor in Solana as well as Magic Eden, and they hold at least or around about 10% of the Solana token, right? If we come to here, we see another article. So they're holding, this one says $800 million. The other one said
that's the article I read.
Yeah, set to be unstaked. So this was updated on the 10th of November, published on the 9th. So let's just see if there was any. Solana validators who provide security to the blockchain are set to unlock nearly 800 million as the end of its epic approaches in fewer than 13 hours. I know that this never occurred. When it came to closer to the 13 hours. So let's just see if they've said anything additional here. Yeah, and I mean, we're seeing Solana went as low as 12 and is now sitting at about 16. No, the update, there isn't an update over there, but I don't think that happened. All right, so I don't think Solana is going to zero. And my answer is there are so many builders on Solana that are doing incredible things. You've got Magic Eden, who is doing incredible things. And I don't believe that this road bump is going to derail them completely. It is a road bump for them, for sure. And as I said earlier, my concern is that potentially projects that minted on Magic Eden saw that FTX was a partner and had their funds there. And I do think we're going to start to see projects fall. But we saw the same thing when it came to people not converting their crypto into USD, and then all crypto fell. So this is normal, natural selection. Let the guys who weren't, and I feel bad for anyone, especially the FTX, because they haven't done anything wrong. People who had their money on FTX, yes, I agree with you, ideally should be on a ledger, but you also need some funds to trade. Everyone thought it was safe up until a few days ago. Everyone.
Everybody did.
So, 100%. People who weren't fast enough are going to be hit, but I do not think that Solana is done. I agree 100%, Crypto Dream. 100%.